Welcome back. Eric Mays, a member of the Flint City Council's take on the governor's race, Flint recovery. So you said when Gretchen Whitmer was running for governor 4 years ago, she came to a meeting where you were with ministers, and that was the last time you saw her in Flint.
Let me correct some words.
Yeah.
She ain't been missing in action in Flint. It ain't the last time I've seen her in Flint, but she's with a different crowd.
Okay.
She's running with the crowd who wasn't really in the water fight.
But is she fulfilling her promise? And that's what I meant by missing in action. In your view, is she fulfilling her promise?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so she's missing in action.
She
Go
know
ahead.
me by name.
Mm-hmm.
She know when she come to Flint, I'm the longest serving councilman. There's been no reach out, no dialogue. Same way when I listen to Detroit politics, and I don't know Detroit politics as well as you do, but I heard you and others say that she had made a promise of some type of, was it a
poverty secretary for the state.
Did it happen?
She did not. She lied about that at Martin Luther King High School.
So that
at the town hall that I moderated for all the candidates running for governor.
That concerns me.
Right. A poverty secretary would have been in Flint,
and
would have addressed in Benton Harbor to Detroit.
To Flint.
Right.
Whether it's the poverty, the water crisis, a combination thereof, she avoided some of us activists, some of us water warriors, some of us politicians that took a certain position, and she would come in and out of Flint. And it's been happening for 4 years, to the point where, you know, I'm UAW. Come out to GM plants, elected official, strong Democrat. And I'm like, will I skip over that section just in protest of her and the way she's operated with a high profile politician in Flint like myself? I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, so and that's what I want to talk about, though. Your take on this current governor's race, because we know when politicians run for office, they make all kinds of promises. And 4 years ago, Whitmer said some things that, a lot of things that she went back on. She went, you know, she basically walked away from. I mean, what's your take now?
You know, I can see.
And I asked the question in the context of the fact that Flint is not even on this debate on the radar regarding this gubernatorial campaign.
But Flint was used initially because it was in the national and international spotlight. It was used in her dialogue and campaign initially, and that's how I feel used somewhat. You know, if you got a 4-year term, maybe you don't see her or meet again in the first year, maybe not in the second year. But in the third and fourth year or somewhere, it should have happened. As I sit here on your show talking to you now, Bankole, she knows of me. Nothing. But she's teaming up with some folks who wasn't involved in the fight. In a way, she's shunned some of the leadership that she should have kept in touch with, should have worked with us, and we would have, I think, some different results. Led service line wise, civil suit wise, criminal wise. And so, you know, we only live for a little while. I might be dead, and this was my era. I'm not appreciative of her politics at all. Do I want the Democrats to win? Do I know the other candidate, the Republican? I do want the Democrats to win. Do I wish I had a different choice in the Democratic Party than her? Yes.
Do you think Whitmer should have been primaried from the Democratic Party itself, within the party itself?
I think it should have been a competitive primary. I think we should have seen people who we could believe in. I wouldn't have mind seeing a person who looks like me and you. You know, I talk black, white, Democrat, Republicans, young and old. You know, I use a word. If they ain't studying me, I ain't studying them. We've got to really, in our lifetime, get our fair share. We got to demand it. We've got to be able to hold these folks accountable and make them live up to what we initially gave them our vote for.
I remember very well when Governor Whitmer was running for governor 4 years ago. She made Flint a big deal.
Big deal.
I felt like she used Flint like an American Express card. On the campaign trail, she was swiping Flint at every campaign stop. and she had former Mayor Karen Weaver next to her. I mean, she was talking about Flint. You know,
That's correct.
she basically and she bludgeoned Bill Schuette, then the Republican Attorney General, on the campaign trail. But now looking at what she has done, it looks as if it was all politics.
But see, we lost some good political friends during the time period we're talking about. Even though we've got a Congressman killed D, we lost a Congressman Elijah Cummings.
Right.
If you look at the
He was very outspoken in Flint, yeah, in Congress, on Flint,
and
yes.
so when you lose some of them giants, they shy away. Even though we wasn't satisfied with all of what Barack Obama did during the water crisis in Flint,
right.
We lost some giants. Mayor Weaver and I work real close. I'm trying to help her win re-election now. But when you lost some of those giants who had the knowledge and was in the fight, it gave Gretchen Whitmer, in my political opinion, a right to slip away. Had we kept some of that political might with Elijah Cummings and Mayor Weaver,
but there still ought to be. I know where you're going, but there still ought to be accountability, though. Whether there's an Elijah Cummings who's still alive, or whether he's not alive, who is not alive anymore, there still ought to be accountability.
It is.
Right.
She's liable. She's still alive. She spoke Flint out of her mouth. I told you, she knows me. I ain't seen her since. That's appalling. Some of us are still around, still living. She's here. The buck stops with her. I'm just mentioning people who had gave us leverage to put pressure on people like her in the first place.
Right.
We put pressure on Snyder in the first place with some of these folks. But some of our folks and that leverage dissipated. They had a duty and a responsibility, with or without what Elijah Cummings and others were doing, to live up to what they said and did. And you're 100% right. They used us like a American Express card or whatever you said, and then threw the card away. Never planned to pay the bill.
Let me ask you this, and we're talking about a Democratic Governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and what she has not done in Flint, and your view of what she should have been doing. Can she be trusted?
Whether you're Democrat or Republican, character matters. Honesty, integrity, and the fight. You know, I come out of the civil rights movement, and I know what people can do in the fight. Do I trust her? At this point, no. Because I trust you to do what's best for yourself. We've got some self-centered people in government. Self-centered right now in the city of Flint mayor's race, who wasn't involved, but self-centered. Self-centered in the governor's race. They too busy looking at their own career versus making a legacy of helping large numbers of people. My politics is, I want to be remembered for helping large numbers of people, more so than helping me and my family. I got a son. I'm a family of one, never been married. It don't take much to satisfy me, but politically, when I can do stuff to help a large number of people, and the water crisis was one, doing financial matters in Flint to get the emergency managers out and correcting deficits was two. That's what we should be about in these offices, not making promises,
keeping them. Do you feel Gretchen Whitmer has betrayed the people of Flint?
Not only Flint, Detroit as well.
But
Black folks in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out what I'm saying.
Right.
She's portrayed a pocket of black folks in Flint, a large number of black folks in Detroit, and I'm saying to myself, they need us now. In this race, they need us now.
Yeah.
They needed us then, and they need us now. But you done wrote a check, and I don't want to be cliche. It didn't come back right now.
Insufficient funds, right.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. The Bank of Justice as far as Whitmer is concerned for black folk, is bankrupt.
Do she understand that? Do she care about that?
What do you think?
I think she done took us for granted. And I think these microscopic examples that we're talking about prove that. Flint is a prime example. Detroit is a prime example. When you look at our local city government, we do a budget, property tax, income tax, about 50-something million on an average a year right now. Millions, 50 million. The state deal with billions. The federal government deal with trillions and more. Any politician could make us good. If you're the governor, you got access to billions to help Flint. If you're a good governor, you got access to trillions in your relationship with the federal government. I know when people put effort. You know, her campaign slogan 4 years ago was fix them damn roads. Right now, it should be I apologize to black people and I'm gonna try to do better in Flint, Detroit, or whatever. But
And Benton Harbor, yeah.
yeah, it's late. Yeah, Reverend pick me and all of that. But it's late now because if you sit in that seat, and I used to be the third vice president of Flint branch of the NAACP, political action chairman. I'm the longest serving councilman now as it relates to currently. You can push buttons. Me and you should have been able to look over 4 years and see her effort of pushing to deliver what she had said to black folks in Flint, Benton Harbor, Detroit.
Yep.
Did you see it? I didn't see the effort. I didn't see the push.
Right.
She can call a press conference and push on any of them issues tomorrow, and it'll be all over the news all across the state. I'm smart enough in politics to know that if somebody pushing to make something happen, you can see it. I know politics well enough where you can demand media's attention, you can see it. I didn't see it. Ain't seen it. I know she knows me. Don't care if she see this. Maybe we can educate her. You know, my degree is political science, pre-law, Michigan State. But common sense is what should prevail. Character, honesty, the push, whether you succeed, show me you pushing. I didn't see that push over 4 years for black folks, in particular in Flint, Detroit, and Benton Harbor, Saginaw.
Yeah, there's a lot you put in there. And a final question, I want you to talk to our viewers here, Mr. Mays, just about...
Yeah, because I'm fascinated meeting you. I had never met you before.
Right. I want you to talk to our viewers here because I think it's important, though, they hear from you for people who, to perhaps to understand what you're saying. This is Exhibit A, as far as I'm concerned. You met with Whitmer 4 years ago, and that was the last time you saw her. And in your view,
that's the last time I met with her.
That was the last time you met with her. Exactly.
Around, you know.
Yeah.
And so that means something to me. Flint ain't a big town. It ain't Detroit, it ain't Chicago, it ain't Los Angeles. It was pivotal when she ran. When I met with her, I seen her at a meeting at a Michigan Municipal League. She had security around her, but when I approached, she had them get back and call me by name. I know that she knows me. I know that I'm a strategical mind in the city of Flint to help folks. I know when she come in and meet with certain big shots, come in one time and meet with a little shot. Meet with me, I'm a big shot, but I'm a little shot fighting for the little folks. Treat me and communicate with me, for one, like you did when you wanted votes. We delivered. We believed you.
She showed up at every fish fry when she wanted black folks' support 4 years ago.
Better than that, we met in closed session. We put her feet to the fire. She wanted something. We delivered. You should circle back. 4 years is a long time.
All right.
not to circle back.
4 years is a long time not to circle back. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, in the words of Eric Mays, the most outspoken member of the Flint City Council, talking to us here on Sunday Nation. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I got to have you back. And of course, right after this break, excerpts from the last gubernatorial race, gubernatorial debate between Republican Tudor Dixon and Democrat Gretchen Whitmer. Right after that, Carlton Clyburn from the Highland Park City Council will join me. Stay with us.